Shall we begin?
Let's begin now.
Alright, hello there, welcome to the Ferguson build. Right, this is the build and then we're going to get started. We're going to get straight into it because I don't want to waste no time, because I've been so looking forward to building this little tractor. Excuse me. Right, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to build so much, get it all together, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at it, and then we'll move on to the next section. So to start off with, we're going to do section 1 is the two halves of the engine. So we've got the rear axle, gearbox, and the clutch and all that lot. So we'll assemble that, and I should put on the pieces, i.e. the rocker cover and the cover plates. Also I will put the water pump on, and the actual that's the steering box, we'll put that on as well, and the front axle to start off with. So I should do 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once I've completed that, I'll do a little video, show you what I've done, and just run through it if there's been any problems or anything like that. So I've been blubbering on too long and I want to get on. So I'm going to get started, and I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, we have completed part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4. Part 1 was joining the two halves together, which have been done. Part 2 was the rocker cover and the two cover plates that sit, one on the clutch and, well, the gearbox, and the other one on the rear axle. The back 3-point linkage arms have been put in as well. Also the cover for the actual gear knob has been put in, and water pump at the front, and I'm knocking it around because it's quite tiny, and the front, well, that would be the suspension actually. It just rocks from side to side. That's it. That's your suspension on the front, and that is for your wheels. So that's all completed, and now we'll go across to the destructions and we'll look at what we've got next. Right, destructions part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4 have been done. Now we move on to part 5, which is, what is that? I would say that's the solenoid, wouldn't it? Well, actually it'd be a dynamo in them days, wouldn't it? So I'll do the dynamo, and next we have the actual fan belt, the fan blades, and the actual main drive shaft to that, with the top hose for the radiator. So I'll assemble that, and also I will assemble part 7, which is the radiator and the actual cover that goes over the radiator to direct the fan into. So I shall get them bits assembled up and done, and then we'll come back and have another little look. Okay, now 5, 6 and 7 have been done. I've put the little dynamo on there. I've built the radiator up to how they tell you to. Big fingers in the way. I had a couple of little sinkholes in there, so I've just put a little bit of filler in. And the fan and the fan belt and the rest of the water pump is all being completed. Now, my last little clip, I never mentioned anything about fit, because there was nothing to say about the fit, because the fit was okay. There was nothing wrong with the fit. I will say the plastic is a little bit on the hard side for me. A little bit hard actually sanding. I have to go from the ultimate sanding sticks back to me normal nail files, because they dealt with it a little bit better. So all them bits are done. We'll go across to the instructions and see what they've got to say. Right, what they've got to say, we've done 5, 6 and 7, so we'll turn that over and we'll go to the top. Now 8 is the assembly of the radiator and the fan and that. I'm going to fit the fan, but I'm not going to glue the radiator. I should probably use a little bit of white glue because it would be nice after I've sprayed it all, just to get in there and do the detailing of the fan belt and the fan and the hoses and bits and pieces. So I'm going to fit that. I'll fit the radiator but with a bit of white glue. What's this bit? Oh, this bit's the starter motor. What else we got here? Well, that's the solenoid. That's the distributor cap. I'm not quite sure what that bit is. It probably could be a fuel filter of some shape, size, or description. Anyway, I will get these bits on. I shall get part 10 on, and the air filter, which is part 11, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at them bits, and then we'll carry on to 12 and 13. Okay, all them bits have been put on, which was 8, 9, 10 and 11. And if you want to call me a plonker, you can, because what I didn't know was the actual oil filter. Very big important part of an engine, and I forgot it. So that's all that done now. We'll go across to the destructions and see what they've got in store for us. Okay, well, we've got planned on the destructions now. 12 we're fitting the inlet manifold. 13 we're fitting the air filter and carburetor. Then we're on to number 14, which is the fitting of the exhaust. And 15 is fuel tank and the fuel filter, and 16's actually fitting it. So I'm going to go ahead and fit the inlet manifold with the filter and carburetor, and also the exhaust manifold, and assemble the fuel tank and put that on, and then we're up to part 16. Right, we've got 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16 all done, and that was the inlet manifold, the carburetor and air filter, the exhaust, that's in, fuel tank, and round the other side the fuel filter is all on. So that is up to 16 done. So we'll go across now and have a look at the destructions again. Okay, we're back on the destructions. Number 17 is the battery housing, and also the dash as well. Then it is actually fitting the dash and the battery housing into position, which I shall do. And then we go up and we've just got the sub-assemblies now of the rear axles. So I shall go ahead and I shall assemble the battery housing with the dash and fit it, and also I'll assemble these rear axles, and then we'll take another little look. Okay, I've made these little sub-assemblies, the axles, which hopefully I'll be fitting soon. I've done the little dashboard and put in the battery, so that's all fitted now. And looking on the camera, I have just noticed I've left a little tiny seam line along that spring, which is very remiss of me, and I shall have to deal with that in a very few seconds. But firstly, we'll go over to the instructions and see what we're going to do. Okay, back over to the instructions. We've done all that, and we're down to here now. So we're going to be putting the brake drums on, the actual brake linkage, and actually fitting the axle to the actual main body on both sides. So I shall do that, and also we need to fit the tow hitch and the power drive and make some wheels up. So I shall get on with that and get that done. We're up to 27. Okay, parts 23, 24, 25, 26 and 27. Right, them parts were fitting the rear axles, which are done, putting the brake drums on, which has been done. Also putting in the brake shaft that actually goes to the drum. There was a little issue with that, but I'll show you on the actual drawing with that. Also at the back here, the power drive was put in, and the tow hitch. Now I had two little issues with that because to me it didn't look right, but I shall go through that with you in a second. And also assembly of the wheels, which when I assembled the wheels they didn't look right again to me. So we'll go over to the instructions and we'll have a little look. Right, on the instructions on 23 and 24, they're actually showing you to put this brake bar, yeah, sure, we'll call it a bar, into this bottom hole and then into the actual brake drum. In reality, this little bit here, that's where it actually goes. If you try and put it in there, it's going to throw the whole wheel mechanism off. I don't know if I can bring that in. Can we see that? Yeah, because long camera focus will take you down. Because they're telling you to actually put it in there, which isn't. It goes on that little bit there. Just a little bit, just in case you are building it, because you could spend hours trying to fit that in and it won't work. Right, another little issue I had was with the wheels. Right, I remember the wheels as being this type. They've actually got like a welded on piece all the way around the wheels, and the actual bolts come through that for changing the wheels, because you could put narrower wheels on, so it's just a matter of unbolting that, taking that rim off and bolting a new one in. And as you see on this one, it hasn't actually got it. So I did some research on the internet, and I found that the very early ones, they actually didn't have that. So that's been, I can let that one go. But it just means that when I do build the actual tractor that I did, I've got a lot of remodifications to do. And the second modification I'm going to have to be doing, but was correct. I remember the towing hitches to be like this, to be an arm that comes out, that can be angled and hooked straight on. Now actually on this one, can we see, it is just like a little hook. And this is how I remember it being on my tractor. So yet again, I had to go onto the internet and we have to do a bit of research, and lo and behold, the very early ones had this setup. So I'm going to leave that hitch as it is, and you see, even on that one, that still doesn't look right. And that's in, I keep looking at that, it's blue and red there as well. So I don't know if this is a latish one, because they do have ones now that actually work on like a hydraulic system, that they actually drop down and lift up. So I'm sort of like a little bit undecisive about that. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on it to find out. But I have seen a couple of the photographs of the earlier ones, and they've got roughly the same sort of thing. So I'm going to leave it at that, and well, if I discover that it is that way, I will change it. Right, parts 28 is again assembling the wheels. I'm not actually going to glue the wheels on, not until I've got all the painting done. So 28 and 29 is assembling the wheels, which I've done, and putting it onto the brake drum, which I haven't done because I will probably put them on with a little bit of blue tack at the end just to show you what it all looks like. And now we go over to the braking system, of putting that in, getting that fixed on one on either side. So I'm going to go and do that, and also I'm going to assemble the front steering rack, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to assemble all that ready to be actually put on for both sides, and then I shall come back, we'll have a little look, and we'll go from there. Right, parts 31, 32, 33, 34 and 35, 36 and 37 are all done. Simple reason is, well, I've put the brakes on, yeah, which have been connected up, and then I made up these arms for the steering. Now these bits have already been made up. Now when I offered them up to this arm here, now this bolt and this bolt, there's two bolts at the back of this that it's supposed to line up with, which it didn't. I don't even know if I can show you. Let's turn that round. There we go. You've got two bolts, one there and one there, that this arm's supposed to line up with. Well, it just didn't. And that bolt is supposed to be there. So that's supposed to be there, and that bolt's supposed to be up here somewhere. But when you did it, it pushed that arm right into the front of this bit here. Well, it didn't fit, just didn't fit at all. So what I did, I moved it back, that bolt, to there and fixed it. And because I'd moved the width of the arms on the front there, I had to readjust all the steering so it actually works. So I just glued it in and fixed it in place. So what that means now is I've got to shave that bolt off and that bolt off, that one and that one, and I've got some Ming bolt heads, and then I need to put them back on again, there and there, to make it all equal. So a little bit of a pain in the arse, and if you're building it, you're going to have this problem. So be prepared to chop them off and redo them with some new ones. Right, all in all, it looks like, at the moment, it looks like some insect, mechanical insect, but there you go. It looks, to me, it looks pretty good. Right, we shall go from there, and we shall go to the instructions and carry on. Right, back on the instructions. 28, 29 and 30 have been done. These are the brake arms that I showed you. This was fitting the brake arms, both sides, and then the making of the actual steering for the front. Now that's where I had the problem, because they're telling you to put that bolt into that first hole, and it just did not work. It just didn't work, and that's the reason why that bolt now is there. So I'm going to have to, like I say, is shave them two bolts off and put two new bolt heads on to make it look right. So they were assembled and put on. These small bits have all been put on as well, and these are the steering arms, which have been put on as well. So we've completed right up to 37. So if we turn over the page, well, it's telling me to put on 38, it's telling me to actually put the steering arms on, which are on, so we can forget 38. Now 39 is actually front wheels assembled, to assemble the front wheels, so I would get them done. Let's have a look. Now, so it is the rounded type wheels that went on the TE-20. That's rather interesting. Don't know if I like them or not. There you go. So I'll assemble the front wheels up, and then they've actually got to be put on. I don't think I'm going to put them on because by the look of it they just push on and clip on. I think I'll leave them off, but I will assemble the wheels. Then it's to move on to the actual seat. Now this is the seat for the TE-20, and this is the one for the FF30, so I won't put that one on. I'm going to put the traditional seat on and keep it, you know, that way. So they're showing you to assemble that, then place it on, and it's basically now little tiny bits and pieces to go onto the dash, the hand throttle. I think that's the what you actually kill it with. You pull that and it stops the engine. I don't really know what that bit is. Might even be the primer. Could be. I don't know. And steering wheel. And put the steering wheel on. I mean, we've got a whole page here of little tiny bits that you wouldn't even know that I'd put on. Steering wheel, brakes, they, as you can see on here, look, you've got your main brake, foot brake that way, and that's a stamp brake that you can go down with your heel onto. So I should put them on as well, and also I should put the lever on for the 3-point linkage. That is just the lever that operated the hydraulic pump, just to bring the linkage up or drop it down. So in other words, I'm going to do this complete page because it seems stupid just coming backwards and forwards with little tiny bits, and this is little tiny bits. So starting from the top, I'll get the wheels done, we'll get the seat put on, and we'll get the steering wheel put on, and the little tiny bits in between. So I'm going to carry on with that and get that done, and we'll see what it looks like. There you go. Suddenly you've got something that actually looks like a tractor. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just a few little bits you stick on and it all comes together. Right, 29, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47 and 48 have all been done, and they were all bits and pieces. Kick off with the front wheels and tyres. Now I did try the proper tyres, the round tyres, and they just didn't look right, and they just didn't feel right. And I don't think I'll be shot at dawn, because I've checked loads and loads of photographs and all the Fergies have got them type of tyres on. So I think as long as I'm within the boundaries of using Ferguson stuff, I don't think I'll be shot at dawn over that. So the front wheels have been put on. Also the seat. Actually, if I bring the camera up a little bit, is that any better? He says the camera's all over the place. Alright, that's a little bit better. Yeah, so the front wheels have been done. Everything's been stuck on with blue tack. The front wheels are just they're clip on, so we're not too bad there. The back wheels are being put on with blue tack just to demonstrate. The steering wheel's been put on. The seat, the lever for the 3-point linkage that's been put on. The little stamp brakes, they've been put on both sides, and the hand throttle, which you can only just see just there. So all in all, that is all finished and done, and I'm getting quite excited now because it's really looking the part. So what we'll do now is we'll go over to the instructions and see what else we've got to do. Okay, instructions. Well, we've done right down to 48, so we're turning the page. Yet again, we've got a page of little bits. 49, the stamp brakes are already gone. I've already done them. It's just leaving the gear knob, which is a very tiny piece. We've got the toolbox to go on and to be fixed on, so that will be done. I've also got a little bit of drilling to do by the look of it. I've got to drill the hole through the back here for the work light, and also I know on these fenders, on these mud guards, that I've actually got some injector mark pins I've got to fill and get cleaned up, so I'll be doing them. The assembly of the bonnet, which isn't a great big deal, that should go together nicely. It looks like, yeah, I've got to drill holes in either side for the lights that go on the front, and then it's just a case of the bonnet actually just clips on, the exhaust to go on and to be fitted, and just the lights, and then it takes us up to the start of the 3-point linkage, which I won't go no further. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all these bits done, the lights, make the bonnet up, put the exhaust on, and get the mudguards drilled and filled, and generally just get all these little bits all done and fitted to the tractor, and then I think it should be just leaving the 3-point linkage to do, and that's the job done. I will say now that it's been a great little kit. There's been very few problems with it, so it's a very good kit. It's really impressed me. Anyway, I'm going to get on with that, and I shall be back in a few seconds and we'll have another look. Okay, she's almost done and she looks really good. Now, we left it doing part 50, part 51, 52, 53, 54, 55 and 56. And if the wheels look a bit wobbly, they're just stuck on with blue tack at the moment, just to show you what it looks like, basically. 50 and 51 was fitting the toolbox just there. 52 was the mudguards, which you can see at the back there. 53 was the making of the bonnet, which she looks pretty good. As you can see, that the wheels are all cockeyed, but there you go. The bonnet looks pretty good. That's all made up and done. 54 was fitting the bonnet. 55 was the exhaust, which is in and down there. And 56 was the fitting of the lights, which you can see there, and one at the top there and two at the front. And I have drilled them out. I'm going to paint them silver and put some lenses on them, because I didn't like them being solid, and transfers or stickers or whatever they are to put on them to make them look like it. So it's almost done. So now we turn our attention round to the back and the 3-point linkage. Okay, back to the instructions and 3-point linkage. These are just two small bits to go on the 3-point linkage. One is just like a wind down unit that just allows it to be finely tuned, should I say. Right, turning the page. We have got very little left. Very little left. So we've got the struts for the 3-point linkage, and just showing you how to fix it on. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assemble this and I'm going to fit it, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at the whole thing done. Okay, the build is done, it's finished, everything is being put on and done. All we're going to be now is going to be paint and detailing work, but I'll just run through everything with you. When I left you, it was 3-point linkage I was going to be doing, and that's this bit on the back. All done, looks smart, like it, quite happy with it. Excuse me. Views on the kit, very good kit, everything went together well, the plastic was good, even right down to the smallest parts actually came off the sprues with no problem, they didn't fracture or anything like that, so the plastic was okay. A little bit on the hard side for me, made it a little bit more difficult for cleaning up, but there weren't a great deal of cleaning up. They actually thought about where the attachment points are going to be, and a lot of them, the attachment points like on the gear knob and that, the attachment point was at the end, and the same with all these very thin bits. They thought quite well about where to put the attachment points. Nice kit. It did have its little downfalls. The first downfall was that it was marked up wrong on the instructions for the brake bar at the back. They indicated it to go down to the bottom when it should have gone up to the top, only a small one. The second issue was this front bar, it wouldn't line up to how they showed you. I mean, you can get away with it looking like that, but I'm going to shave them bolts off and reposition the bolts like they should be, because at the end of the day, I mean, this front axle was designed to be extended or shortened into, depends on what they needed, so it doesn't really matter where the bolts go as long as they're on there. So that was one of the issues. The final issue was they went to great lengths to create a little bit at the front. I'll just lift that off with the radiator in. This little bit at the front here to actually make the bonnet pivot, but it doesn't pivot for the simple reason is when you've got the radiator in, there's too much bits and pieces. I don't know if I can show you. The radiator actually just slots in there like so, and as you can see, look, the edge of it stops it from coming forward, so this little bit here has got to be cut out, which I'm going to do. I'm going to chop that bit back. I'll get my little Dremel in there and I'll just cut that back a little bit and smooth it out, and if we see the injector mark pins, I'll get that done. But that was the only things really that let the kit down. And injector mark pins underneath the wheel arches, which you could see, but hey ho, you've got to have them to get them out the mould, so I'm really not moaning about something that's not new. But like I say, all in all, absolutely fantastic. I love the kit, went together beautifully. Now I'm going to be on to detailing, and I shall be doing my famous bit with the leads and distributor leads. I will be putting some cables in for the lights, little bits and pieces like that around the back here. I will be putting the chains on from the drive to the arms. The lights I've already drilled out. They will be lensed and done properly, not them stupid little transfers they got. And basically that's it. It will be painted, and all the little bits and pieces, a little bit of weathering on it, you know, just to make it look like it's been used and not a showpiece, because I don't like things to be showpieces. So that's it. And like I say, I've got another kit that I'm going to start building very soon. Actually, I've got another 2 kits. I've ordered 2 more kits of this particular one. I'm going to do a version of the FF30, which is the one with the red engine and with the soft seats and that. I'm going to do that version, and the 3rd version is going to be my tractor that I had on the farm. That's going to be slightly different because there's going to be a lot more work on that, because I've got to convert a petrol and make it to a diesel, and there's a lot of modification on the engine I've got to do. Also a lot of modification on the wheels. There's going to be a lot of modification on the back end because it wasn't the small hook, it was the long draw arm with the drop bolt in it. So there's going to be a lot of modifications done to actually make it. And also, yes, there was a roll cage or roll bar on it as well, and the exhaust came out and up. So that's going to be on the next one, and that will be, I'll be starting, well, as soon as I get the kits I'll get started on it, so that will be the next one. So that is it for this. Now I'm going to do paint, get it all sorted out, and then I'll show you what it all looks like when it's all done. So thank you very much for sitting through and watching it, and we'll see you on the next one.